All right.
Oh, yeah. Tissues, where are they? I say that because 'cause I'm a crier, so I'm just letting y'all know that now. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. Thank you for letting me be here, and yeah.
Oh, I don't think my mic. Oh, okay. So, I know you wanted to start us off with some grounding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, it's really important to me that when we enter into spaces, I want y'all to take this too with you when you are in meetings, meeting with people, even today, as you're networking and chatting, that we enter with presence. And so when we enter with presence, we're entering in from a space of our core. And so the decisions we make, we kind of see if we're aligned with that. You can tell right now I need that. So yeah, we're just going to start with noticing your feet on the ground. And if you would like to close your eyes, if you don't want to do that, just a soft gaze to the table or the floor. And so noticing your feet, noticing what they're touching, noticing maybe the textures of your shoe, even taking a moment to notice the slight slither in between your feet and the ground, noticing gravity and the support that is giving you right now, how this earth is holding you in this moment, bringing your awareness up to your knees, maybe noticing the bend in the knee as you sit on this chair, bringing your awareness up to your stomach. You might be noticing any sensations in the stomach. That's where we hold a lot of our stories. So just letting that be there, no need to change it if it's something there. Now bringing your awareness up to your chest and even here if you would like. Taking a moment to take your hand and place it on your chest. Hmm. Noticing your breath. No need to change it. Nothing to fix. Nothing to do here. Just noticing and enjoying your breath. Noticing you are a body breathing and how your breath breathes for you without you having to think about it. Now taking a moment and noticing your sit bones in this chair, noticing the texture of the chair, the contact between you and it. And if you can in this moment, sitting back, dropping the shoulders, allowing yourself to really be. There is nothing for you to do in this moment except be. There's no right or wrong way to do this, no need to perform. Often, as Black women, we put on this performance. You do not have to do that here. Bringing your awareness up to your head, and if you would like, just kind of slowly moving your neck from left to right or right to left. Still noticing breath. Noticing your hand on your chest. And in this moment, if you would like an invitation to say, "This is me, I am here." If you would like to say that again, you can on the inside. And so, just as a moment to ground in yourself, an invitation now to slowly open your eyes, gaze around the room, noticing where you are, noticing there's no tiger behind you. You are safe here. Yeah. And so we are arrived. We are here. Tissues? I see. We need those. Yeah.
That was helpful. Yeah. Was that
It will.
helpful to you? Sometimes, even if it's a whole bunch of really beautiful energy like it is in this room, it's still a lot of energy, right? And so, just to be able to center, to make sure that you can let everything that we're going to pour into you, not just in this session, but every session, every breakout session after, that you are actually present enough to receive it. Right? Because I think a lot of times we get rewarded for going as fast as we can, not paying attention to our signals from our body, not even recognizing or being able to claim that I do feel tired. I am exhausted. I do need a break. And I am still a high achiever. And I'm still really good at what I do. Right? So that's what this conversation's about. For some, it could be like I do yoga, right? I love yoga. And there's the power yoga where you move fast and that's great and all. But the hardest yoga is when you sit still. That's the yoga when if you go to a gym and you pay attention, most people walk out the room because it's harder to slow your mind down because sometimes you gotta face some things. Sometimes you gotta think about things. You gotta meet yourself, right? So I thought it was wonderful. This is my friend who we will go out to dinner and talk about this for hours. This is just what we do. We love it. But it was so important to me to bring it to this conversation. So, all right, you ready? All right. Okay. So my first question is, let's talk about the link between how we feel in our bodies and how we lead. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, even as you said, Aisha, just now, so much of embodiment or being with the body, the ability or the capacity to be with yourself is about slowing down. And so it's about slowing down to take notice of what's happening. Often we are overriding, as Aisha just said, the signals. And so we go, go. How many of us have just been going these past 2 days? Me. Right? And so we might reach a point when we go home, when we go to our hotels, where we just burn out. So it's important if we want to make decisions, if we want to be in alignment with our core selves, our authentic selves, and stay in our authentic power, that we take the time to slow down. And so I want to give just a little bit of neuroscience about what that means for our nervous system and how it shows up. And so some people, you might know the responses already: flight, fight, freeze, and fawn. There are actually more responses than that, but those are the four. Um, and so our brain is always working from this space of two things. It wants to know safe or not. That's all the brain is really here for. And so we have this spine, our brain stem that operates from that place, and that's where the responses come from. And so they might have came from childhood development or just past kind of things that have happened. And so as things happen, the brain categorizes any of those stories, any of those narratives, any of those experiences as if I was safe or if I wasn't. And if in that moment you weren't safe, then those responses start to show up in times where they shouldn't. So, if we can recognize when we are in fight, if we can recognize when we are in flight, freeze, or fawn, then we're able to kind of dissipate some of that stored or blocked trauma or experiences or the feeling of feeling stuck in something to kind of allow for coherence. Um, I could go on.
You can go on if you like. I'm sure it's gonna add to more things. One of the questions I was gonna ask that's related to that is, what are some ways, some signals
Mm,
that how that shows up? Because, you guys hopefully know I'm very transparent up here all the time. But for me, I know one thing that I'm working on unlearning, and you know this, is, overriding it,
mm,
pushing through.
yeah.
Right? Because even as project managers, you are rewarded for ignoring your feelings.
Mhm.
You are. And some of that can make us really good at our job. But some of that, if we do it too much and don't recognize that, it can burn us out without us realizing it, right? It can give us the overwhelm. And besides work, we still have life going on, right? And so, what are some signals and some ways that people can even recognize it in their body to even know
Yeah.
to pause? Because if we don't even know what we're trying to regulate,
Mm.
but how do we do even the simple things in between a meeting or during a meeting and we're overwhelmed and someone just says something real crazy? Um, how do we even recognize those signals in our body?
Yeah. The first thing is again slowing down. And so it is a practice.
Mhm.
So it can't just go from like, oh, okay, well, Michelle said put your feet on the ground and notice your feet. Like it's something that you have to do daily. So, you know, even in this moment, walking into a room and scanning the room, right? So if you go to a meeting before just jumping in, open up the laptop, figuring out what you're going to say, notice and scan the room, and that tells your nervous system that you're slowing down. So when you can do that, then you can notice, okay, in this moment, I can feel my hands kind of getting jittery.
Wow.
Or what you might have noticed something in that grounding that we just did. So it's being able to pay attention to yourself. And so usually flight kind of things are movement, like you want to move or your feet want to move. And it's allowing that to happen in the small little moments because what we've been taught to do is to dismiss it and kinda shut it down, and if we do that, that's where it gets stuck, and so, if I'm in a meeting and or even right now, noticing, all of this energy, and I don't take the moment to ground myself, then it kinda gets stuck, and it tells my body, "Oh, this is how we do this. This is how we stay safe," where really it's not. So, noticing that, noticing for fawning, fawning is the appeasing response. So wanting to stay in connection, so you kind of um people please. So noticing when you do that, um freeze is just stuck. So you're like maybe you can't move. It's different for everyone. And so I could share, some of mine. Like I know in freeze, like my knees kind of feel like they just want to lock up. And so if we know that's what's happening and we can take that in and say, okay, I feel my knees kind of locking in and be with that for just 90 seconds. As long as you're not afraid to be with it for 90 seconds, that gives your nervous system the space to allow for coherence. I am a little resistant to always saying nervous system regulation because our nervous system is not meant to be regulated all the time. So we might hear it's trendy right now, saying that it is meant to process and go through the responses because we are human beings. God created this body with so much intention, so that if we are in danger, absolutely we need that fight response. Absolutely we need that flight response. So it's about giving it the space to complete itself. But if we don't do that, if we keep suppressing, if we keep pushing it down, then that's when it leads to burnout. That's when we aren't able to be our full selves because we're operating out of a space of survival.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Um, so I know we're talking about the different signals and it's a practice to recognize it and to just practice it on a daily basis. Um, so and the theme is dream louder, right? So what happens if someone just feels stuck or too exhausted to even dream, right? Because I know a lot of that has to do with this conversation. We don't always connect those dots. We just know I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm mentally tired. I'm physically tired. I'm tired. So, what are some ways, I guess, to, as we're trying to even recognize those signals that our body's giving us and getting in tune with our own body on a daily basis? What about when you're just tired
Yeah.
and you just feel stuck?
I would say lean into that as a as it seems like the opposite thing to do, right? To lean into rest, but it is really important. As Black women, this is where I start to cry.
It- Yeah, it's okay. Then I'm really great. Mhm.
We have to rest.
Mhm.
Thank you. Um, Without rest, what can we do?
No.
Nothing.
Mhm.
It is generationally placed on us to carry so much for others. Y'all, and I'm in a room of, I know y'all's minds are brilliant and we need that. So leaning into that. And so it's taking the moments. If you don't have, an hour, if you don't have these things, it's taking that 5 minutes to even recognize, okay, what do I love? What brings me rest? What is it? It could be simple, little things. And so if there is nothing else, it is to know that rest supports you in integrating. It supports you in embodying the dreams that you want because you cannot. The brain won't even let you dream if you are not resting. And so in relationship to our nervous system, there is the our parasympathetic nervous system. And so this is the part of the nervous system that is connected to all of our systems. Another way for that or word for that is called the rest and digest. And so if you are operating on the opposite side of that, the sympathetic, you're just like this. Even if it doesn't look like it, inside doing that. So we are not able to dream or to envision or to see clearly without rest. There, even in our brain, there's this kind of in the coherence when we start to kind of undo the traffic that's kind of stuck in the nervous system. What happens is this neuroplasticity happens in the brain. And it is literally creating these new neural pathways for you to dream and envision again. So rest gives us hope. Rest gives us space. Please. And so even in that, even in me saying that, it's probably like, you know, okay, well, what does that mean? And I work with people who don't know how to rest because their systems are still stuck in that sympathetic kind of either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so it's just taking the little things, starting with small things. What brings you resource? Like, what is it colors? Is it listening to the birds? Is it drawing? So taking inch by inch the small steps to get to a place of being able to rest.
Thank you for that. Um, because I think it seems simple, but it's not. It seems so simple, but it's not. We feel like we can just work our way to anything, have a plan for anything. And even though we're capable of doing that, doesn't mean that we should be doing it. And we are taught so much of how to do when you're a little kid. What are you going to be when you grow up? We're taught so much of how to do and do and do. And as soon as we sit down, we feel lazy or we're told we're lazy. Or why are you doing that? You need to rest. You need to rest again. Yeah, we do need to rest. We're not resting enough. And I love that you correlated with um, you know, with a strategy to be able to dream, to be able to accomplish all the things. That rest has to come with it. So thank you for that. I know we're gonna start taking some questions pretty soon. So y'all, it's a safe space. Okay. We want some get some questions. Do you want to take us do you want to talk about anything else? I know we talked about maybe a quick reset for resilience. We could do that. We could do whatever you want before we break out to the questions.
Yeah, I think would y'all like to do a practice? Yeah, okay.
I would.
Okay. um yeah, we'll do a practice. So I'll just kind of explain it. Being trauma informed choice is also really important. So you can decide if you even have the capacity to do it. And what that means is if you feel like you're going into overwhelm, this is also another practice, like checking your capacity, right? And so being trauma informed also means that we don't push past, we don't overwhelm. So I'll explain it. It's very simple and similar to what we just did, just a little bit bringing in an intention with it. And so you'll write your intention down or you can just keep it in your mind. And maybe this intention is one of, yeah, what do you dream? What would you like to envision for yourself? And then we're going to think of a resourceful person, thing, entity. Um, it could be your pet, it could be a color, it could be like I had a little rock up here that I like to hold as support. Thinking of that. So thinking of your intention and thinking of something that's resourceful for you. And we're going to just check in with the body. I'm going to guide you through it, check in with the body and what your body has to share with you about this dream or goal of yours, and also what happens when you bring in a resource to support it. So, if you're open to it, you don't have to. It's up to you. Just check in with your body. What is your body kind of saying, you know, to see if you want to do it or not. Um, so if you're open, you can close your eyes again or soft gaze. And if you have your dream or your intention, just kind of keeping that in the mind. I'm just giving a little space for that for people who might still be searching for that. And then bringing to mind also that resource, again, a person, a place, a thing. an entity, something of support, something or someone that empowers you. And so noticing again, feet on the ground, noticing this earth that supports us, that we get to lean on, noticing your knees, bringing your awareness up to the seat, your sit bones, really checking out your posture here, almost as if you were outlining it in your mind. Hmm. I'm noticing people settling into themselves, bringing your awareness up to your stomach. Again, we're just checking out any sensations, just noticing what's happening, bringing your awareness up to your chest, noticing your breath. Again, nothing to do here, no right or wrong. Bringing your awareness up to your shoulders. Check out your shoulders. How are they? Yeah. Bringing your awareness up to your head. And in this moment, bringing your intention to mind, whatever that is. If it's more clarity, let that be. And with this intention, kind of checking out what comes up with it. What is in the way of this goal or intention or envision, this dream of yours? Whatever comes up, let that be. What is the obstacle or challenge? And as you're checking this out, just staying curious with it. Again, we're not here to fix. Checking out this intention, seeing where you might notice any sensations as you be with it. Do you notice some tightness somewhere? Do you notice lightness? Anything heavy? What are the hands doing? And so now, with this challenge and this feeling of this challenge, the felt sense of what it means, what it feels like to be with this challenge of your intention, bringing to mind that resourceful person, place, or thing, imagining them meeting that challenge, supporting you almost as if they're standing behind you as you go to meet this challenge that is in the way of your dream. Again, just imagining them behind you or imagining that place or person, thing, and noticing what that feels like. What does it feel like to have this resource behind you, supporting you in meeting this goal or dream of yours? Maybe you can even, in the mind's eye, just kind of imagine them meeting each other. Maybe the resource goes over to that challenge. What happens then in the body? Sometimes we might even get visions of things that might happen, colors. All of that is welcome. All of our brains are different, bodies different. And so in this moment, just really taking in what it feels like in the body to have support. What happens when the resource goes to meet that challenge? What do you notice with this dream or intention or goal of yours? And so we'll take a moment to just land again, slowly, maybe wiggling the toes, the fingers, swaying the body if that is something you feel called. Just allowing your body to move, gently opening your eyes. And as you do, scanning the room, maybe looking at each other once you feel safe and comfortable to do that. I hope y'all know you have all that you need. You have all that you need. I know we're here to get all of this wonderful knowledge from people, but you also have all that you need. It is within you too. So, thank y'all for practicing with me. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
so
that.
much. Yeah.
Did you guys receive that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, if you would like, please write down whatever came up. Even if it was a color, it doesn't matter. All of it matters.
Mm.
So if you would like, you don't have to if you're someone that can keep it, but that is also a way of just kind of integrating and letting the body know like what you just went through. And so you can go back to it. You might get more 10 minutes from here from now. So just kind of yeah, jot that down. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that last part too, because I don't know if you guys do these practices a lot. A lot of times we don't get that luxury, right? To just slow down. Um, but a lot of times when you do this too, sometimes you get those um light bulb moments or you get those things that are revealed in the moment. And sometimes your brain finally slows down and it could be a few days, it could be tomorrow, but it could be a few days from now. It could be next week when your body really just kind of finally slows down and you start getting those whatever those downloads are from God, whatever's in your soul. Sometimes it does happen a little later. So just be open and give yourself a lot of grace to be able to receive that. Okay. Do you want to take some questions? Do
Yeah.
you all have questions? Okay. LB or anyone with a mic. We're gonna, I think, ask you to step to the mic we have in the aisle.
Yeah. While
And
y'all are doing that, I'm so sorry, Ace.
oh no, that's fine. But just make your way to the microphone. I know LB also has a mic too, so but it's a
Uh,
safe space, so don't be scared.
yeah.
We just gonna love on you. But go ahead.
Yeah. And so while people are walking up to the mic, again, just checking out your body, giving it space
Mm,
to be.
mhm,
And so if there's something that needs to move, please do that.
mhm,
Again, I'm talking about that coherence, right? And so like even if it's just a shimmy in the shoulders,
mhm,
do it.
mhm,
If your feet, your hands need to do that. Okay?
Hi, I'm Natasha. And I just have a quick question. So, when you're a high achiever and an executor, sometimes you go from high achieving and executing to, "Oh, I'm tired." So, how do you gauge before you get to burnout that you were on the verge of it? You know what I'm saying? How are you proactive before you actually get to that point?
Yeah. The proactiveness is really in the daily slowing down because you're not gonna be able to recognize it, um, if that's what your system is always used to doing. So, I would say 5 minutes before, you're going to go execute something, noticing breath. If you have breath work practices already, you can do that, but even in the simpleness of, like, just hand on your chest and noticing breath, or even in this moment, like, what do you notice right now?
So because of the exercises, I'm already very relaxed.
Yeah.
But before I am in a season of I know I'm tired. I just can't find the time with a lot of things happening to
Yeah.
engage in the rest I should be engaging in.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be 5 minutes daily. It's going to you're gonna have to be really strategic in it. And so when I work with people on this, even if it is making your tea or your coffee, slow that down. If it is brushing your teeth, if it is walking to the shower, in those moments, slowing it down. And so when you do that, you're kind of able to recognize when you are you're approaching burnout, or I don't want to say prevent it, because we can't prevent stress, right? It's just how we are able to be with it. So, was that helpful?
That was very helpful.
Yeah. And so even in, if it's in meetings or such, there might be another question around this. Like, noticing feet on the ground is so simple, but doing that, like noticing, okay, feet on the ground and what is supporting you. So I would say slow down the coffee, slow down the tea.
Being intentional about
Be an
these
intentional,
things.
the little, yes, be intentional about the little things daily to support you, because then it builds up
Right. Right.
so that when, the time comes, you have that to lean on.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful. Yeah.
That was super helpful. It made me rejigger my question. My question about jumbled up. Thank you so much, both of you, for that. My name is Katrina High, and I'm going to try to get my question out as thoughtfully as I can. So, rest resistance. There are a few things that you just said about just noticing. Um, the confluence of being neurodivergent, being a Black woman, being a high achiever, and not Mm, mm, and then having trauma responses, right? How do you know when you are overdoing it? So there are times where I think I'm tired, but I'm in flow.
Mm.
I'm in flow and I'm getting it done, and I'm in flow and I'm getting it done because there's a trigger or there is an external stimuli that's just making me need to do this.
Yeah.
But I could pause, but I'm in flow and I'm getting it done. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I just 5 more minutes turns into
Yeah.
30 more minutes,
Yeah.
1 more hour.
Uh-huh.
But my sense of time is off because I'm neurodivergent, so
Yeah.
I don't always know when it's too much.
Yeah.
I'll pause there.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that and allowing us to see that. I am also neurodivergent, um, late identified autistic and ADHD.
Mm.
So much of this somatic work has supported me in being able to recognize that and taking the shame away from it. So I'm gonna say that is number one. It's being with, um, yeah, the shame that comes around, being time blind.
as a as a project manager.
Right, right, right. The shame that comes around, yeah, not being focused. I will go on a tangent. That could be another thing. So, um, so I would say checking in with and really being with like what flow is for you so that you know what that feels like versus if you are putting the mask on to get the things done because you're supposed to get the things done at this time. um and so I would say yeah, being with that and also just back to the shame part, being okay with the side quests. I was talking with yes, Marquise, being okay with the side quests. For our brains, ADHD brains, we need it.
We
I don't want to do this if I can't go do this first. Like that's just how our brains work.
okay.
And so I'm going to say most of it is checking out the shame around, the doing and doing it in this neurotypical way. Um and then I love that you brought up flow, and so I that's just what's coming up for me in this moment. Like, check out what flow feels like.
Okay.
If it is putting on a song and, so again, creating those moments. If you need to get the flow, like put a song on and like what is that song that does that and support you in that. I feel like there was a second part of your question, but
So the trauma so that was good. I got
yeah.
what I needed. I don't know if
Okay.
anybody else. I got what I needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies.
Yes, morning.
The practice felt like a warm hug, right?
Yeah.
My name is Rayshonda Davidson, and Michelle, thank you so much for your time. My question is related to a correlation between comfort eating in high performance areas where there's due dates that are close. I noticed that. Don't give me I notice it happens. That's the
Yeah.
backstory.
Yeah.
But I just realized that, a lot of times I begin to start if I have a 1 year project, 2 year project, whatever the case may be, towards those due dates, somehow I begin to start influxing in weight, or I notice that I begin to start comfort eating more and so I was curious if the irregularities of nervous system has anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. I kind of mentioned this earlier, the parasympathetic system. And so whenever that our our nervous system is not able to again do that coherence, it starts trying to figure out ways to get back to this kind of not flat, but to always stay like this. Not to stay like this, um overstimulated or activated, not to be low, but to be doing like this. And so when it notices um things happening or when something gets stuck, it's trying to find its way. And so the eating or comfort eating could be it trying to find its way to connect. Um and so if the nervous system is not regulating itself and it's still trying to get back to that kind of homeostasis, that's kind of where the weight gain kind of happens because it's in sympathetic, it can't digest food correctly. So you're not it's going wherever it's it's trying to find its place, which is a beautiful thing again. These beautiful bodies.
If it finds the right place.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so it's gonna find where it needs to go. So yeah, again, it's like you could be more mindful when eating. Um, taking the time to just kind of as you're eating, like let that be a mindful kind of thing. Noticing when you're full, because it's trying to find where it could find some resource.
Mhm.
Like, where can I be safe? Yeah.
That's good, and I just wanted to bring awareness to that because when we're in the thick of it, we don't think about it,
Yeah.
and so hopefully it was helpful to you, you all high performing, environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good question.
Yep. Thanks, neighbor. She's my neighbor. Yes. And we're birthday in May.
Yeah, to say, oh, he wasn't maybe, but just
Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna do this because I'm short.
Yeah.
Standing on my tiptoes a little bit. My name is Faith Dietz, and thank you so much for this session. This is all I think about is wellness. And I want to ask you, can you talk a little bit more about how we pull in our emotions rather than letting them go? This is something that I've been working on is like when it comes to let it go and to let it come because that's how the body starts to realize that it needs to heal. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Um, I'm also trained in releasing emotions, which is how I kind of got into this work. And in that, I learned where emotions, first of all, we have over like 200 emotions, right? We kind of just think about, angry, just like the five. Um, so yeah, I have training in where our emotions are stored in the body and um also how they're passed on through generations. Um and so with that, I find it really important being a mother, being most of my work is in like ancestral healing, so intergenerational healing as well. And not even so much not wanting to pass on generational emotions or things that have been stored, but yeah, just giving my children the space to express um, those. Because if we don't, we are where we're at now. And I say we like me too. Um, so it is important because after, some time, they need to come out. Because if we don't, then we're dealing with autoimmune disease. There's a recent um paper on Black women and anger that has not been expressed and how that correlates to us having the highest percentage in autoimmune disease. So it is very important. We do need support with it because if we were not taught that, growing up and it didn't feel safe, right? And so we think about past generations and the need for safety. Again, the body is so smart. In order for us to be here right now and to survive, it figured out a way for us to keep us safe. And that is the responses. So, um yeah, it's important to, though, release those so that the generations after and after and after and after don't have to be with that. So, yeah, it takes being with someone who can recognize um, what's kind of coming up and where it's coming up and relate it to the responses and giving it the space to have its coherence safely. Because there's also a lot of places too or people where are wanting some cathartic kind of release. Sometimes that's not safe for the body because again, it's kind of pushing it into this overwhelm. So like earlier when I asked you to check into with your capacity, that was so that you don't push or overwhelm the body because you're still telling it the same cycle of like, this is how we do it. We just get it all out at once. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. I think so. Yeah, it's
I just wanted you to talk about
elaborate.
that,
Yeah.
elaborate on it.
Yeah. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh. Again, yes, thank you for your time. This has been superbly helpful. And I'm trying to give the inner me some space because the closer I got to the mic, the more she got nervous, even though I know it's a very
Good job
safe.
noticing that.
So I'm trying to have both of us kind of, we're totally fine. We're in a great place.
Wait,
Like,
wait, wait,
my
wait, wait, wait.
question,
Yeah,
we're okay.
that is beautiful.
So yes, bear with me. I'm Rosalind Alexis. And my question was about you spoke about kind of how being stuck in a certain space kind of locks your inability to dream or being locked, right? Inability to dream or being stuck in a space where you cannot grow.
Yeah.
My question was kind of a mixture of everyone's. Do you have any advice for being stuck in fight or flight in that endless cycle, but you're high achieving
Yeah.
so you can dream, you can move forward? And kind of as I expressed that there's like an inner me that's the one that's kind of has needs and all those different things. And then there's me that's like, come on, as
Yeah.
we move down the road of our dreams and move closer towards it. But do you have any advice of being stuck in that spiral as you dream, even though you're growing in some ways?
Mm.
I'll just say personally, I wish I could grow a little more or
Mm.
faster into what I'm becoming. I want to make sure that we're not leaving any traumas behind or I'm noticing certain ones that keep coming up even as I fix or not fix is not the word, but as I grow and move into that person, yeah, I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to ask. Like, how do you get out of that cycle of being in flight or flight, and move into truly living versus I'm living sometimes, but underneath it's like, yeah, now survival.
Yeah. Mm. Thank you for that question. And I would say that it probably resonates with a lot of us here.
Mm.
If you're open to it, would you raise your hand if that question resonates? the the mind in all of its power and its beauty will keep us in those cycles.
Mm.
Again, out of the need for safety. So we might know, we might have all the knowledge and know this is what I'm doing and do it, like you said, and get it done. And so again, it's back to being with that, as you said, that inner self, that part. And so not shushing her, um, and allowing, like, acknowledging that she's there, or even the responses are there, this acknowledgement of it and being with it. And so that's hard. It's hard to be with the things. And so sometimes the mind can be our way of avoidance.
Mm.
Um, Overthinkers, and
Hyper
you
aware,
yes,
hyper
hype
aware,
all knowing,
overthink. Yeah.
And so that's also a part of why, therapy is great, but you might even reach a plateau with therapy because you already know. And so it's about, again, this being with. So noticing, okay, if the past, I'm just using your words, if the past trauma, is coming back, then it's time to be with that. It's time to like be with it instead of like, come on now, I got things to do. Why are you here again? It's because it wants to be seen. So gently allowing it to be seen and acknowledged, allowing to be with it. And so that's again, that probably answers most of the questions. Like when you can do that, you can notice, oh, this is coming up again. For me, like I always say, especially, sharing my neurodivergence, grief and we're besties. We are besties. So, and it's only my relationship with grief has expanded my relationship in how I receive joy and abundance. And so, yeah, we have to be with the things that we might be avoiding or might be suppressing, um, and kind of let the mind have just a little backseat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to quickly share that community, and you can expound on this if you want to, because a lot of the stuff I do it cerebrally or in my head.
Mm.
And so being in a space like this conference and a part of the membership as well has been very helpful in kind of moving forward. As you spoke, it kind of hit me
Yeah.
standing up here and having everyone raise their hands.
Yes.
I felt I could
Same.
feel all of it.
Yeah.
So
That is
there's part of the answer to my question too is just to continue with these spaces
yes.
and being in community with women like you guys. So
Yeah, that thanks for bringing that up because that is really the big, we talk about or I talk about overview thing. My reasoning for this work for myself and how I support others, whether that's one-on-one or in community sessions, is for relationship to self, our relationship to others, especially as Black people in general, our relationships are fragmented. So if we can build our relationship with self, build our relationship to others, and we can only do that when we have done our work because again, if we're operating out of survival, then it's hard for us to truly connect and to see each other, like to really see each other. Um Yeah, so as I mentioned before, like as you meet people and see like where the alignment is, check in and see what that means. And so, yeah, I think I'll be good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. I appreciate that because we don't get to have these discussions enough. And with that, I think it's a really wonderful time to, um, we're all good with with the,
Yay. You're just happy there. We have podcasts on the app. I stay there. Yes, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
you've carried the meetings, managed the deadlines, held it all together for everyone. Now it's your turn. The rest retreat is not just a getaway, it's a reclamation, a space designed for Black women who lead to finally exhale. Luxury, stillness, healing, community. This is your permission to pause because rest isn't a reward, it's your right.
Wow.
I'm excited for. So, one of the things that was important to me is the last 4 years we've been doing this conference and this space is so important. But one of the things that I have really, really wanted to do, I actually announced it, if anyone remember last year, and then I didn't do it because I was exhausted, y'all. I was tired. I was tired. This year I want to be very, very intentional about resting. I usually create things that I desperately need for myself and that I think that others need as well. And so I'm going to be hosting, as you saw, a small retreat, a rest retreat. I don't know if any of you have gone to a lot of different retreats, but when you go, it is so fulfilling. And I thought it was very important for us to have a rest retreat where we have intentional Black women who are in project management, but that we are not going to, it's the opposite of this. I love this, but it's the opposite of this. It's to slow down, it's to rest, it's to teach us some fundamentals of resting. So when we walk out of there, we have a little bit more tools in our tool belt, not to just keep going and then to hit that wall. And so Michelle would be one of our guest speakers. We're gonna intentionally have slow mornings, do some hikes, have some really long conversations, intentional conversations, do some wine tasting too. And it's going to be at Chateau Lawn in North Georgia, if any of you are not familiar with it. So if you are looking to join us, the QR code is in the magazine. I think it's on the screen too. I want to start. Hey, babe, can you get me those 2 boxes and those two? Well, thank you. So I want to be intentional of, it's our 10-year anniversary. I want to be very intentional of being able to just pour into y'all a little bit more. And so I'm going to give away one of the retreats now. I'm going to do it to very intentional. There was one person who purchased their ticket as soon as we put these tickets on sale for our conference this year. One, all of you mean a lot to us because everything counts. This space counts. The space is so important. And if they were so adamant about making sure they were in this room and learning, we want to be very intentional and adamant about them resting. So, Nadia Bennett, can you come up to the stage? Do we have Nadia? There we go.
Is that Mother White? Papa.
I want to give you the gift of rest, and this is a pre-retreat box of some beautiful bath bombs, and that's your letter. Just confirm it. So,
Getting married 2 weeks out.
Oh, are you? Good. Congrats first. Thank you.
yes. Okay. Now, because I have integrity, I had every intention on giving one away, but literally a few seconds after Nadia bought her ticket, someone else bought their ticket. And so she is someone who has attended, I think, every conference, been a member for a good amount of years. I love her. Mia Reddick Smith, is she here? Let's see, is she in the room? A few people had some issues with weather. Okay, I'll give this to her. And she may make it a little later today. Thank you. So as we concluded, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Michelle. Such a gift. You know, I love you. We've been We met through our boyfriends who became our husbands. And then we had kids and all the things. So we have known each other for at least 15 years now. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you. Hand it back over to you, LB.
Get it out for this. Alaya Parvashak, Ye Insha and Vishal. Accurate. Sit down into it. And I say Insha. Huh? Email swap.
You gonna sit him in the bag?
No, I say we're sitting back. Oh,
Okay. Just. It's time to Look at you here and say, protect your peace.